So now that we're all fed and hopefully happier, we can get to the really, really great news. I mentioned earlier that CGC has a proud history in Canada dating back more than a century. We've been successful during that time because CGC has been relentless in innovating our products, laser focused on sustainability, and ambitiously growing our markets. Most importantly, we have focused on meeting the needs of our customers, especially our amazing customers, some of who are here from Alberta and Western Canada. They are the very best in the building and construction, and they demand the very best products from us. Yet with all of our success, we've heard our Western Canadian clients say they want faster, easier access to our industry-leading sheetrock EcoSmart brand gypsum wallboard. Shipping them wallboard all the way from Eastern Canada ain't gonna cut it anymore. As the construction industry and our overall economy evolve, customers need to stay at pace, and so do we. And that's why I'm really, really excited today to announce that CGC plans to invest more than $210 million to build a brand new, state-of-the-art wallboard manufacturing plant right here in Wheatland County, Alberta, Canada. This will be CGC's largest capital investment in Canada in decades. It will be our first new wallboard plant anywhere in North America since 2007. Construction on the site is planned to begin in 2023 or sooner. A build that will bring over 200 construction jobs to the area. And when fully operational, our cutting-edge wallboard plant will create over 100 long-term, high-value manufacturing jobs. It is yes. I can tell you it is no exaggeration to say that this will be one of the most exciting projects in our company's over 100-year history. This landmark investment cements our long-term commitment to the Canadian market and our dedication to providing the very best customer experience. Most importantly, we are making this investment to be closer to our customers and better serve Western Canada. This is an incredible win for us at CGC. Personally, this fulfills a dream that I have had for 25 years. Chris, the team here, we have dreamt, Hans, Larry, Cliff, we have dreamt about this for a long, long time. This was a rash decision 25 years in the making. I am thrilled that our customers will be the most to benefit. They have stuck by our side, and we are grateful for your continued support. I'm also very pleased to announce that CGC Wheatland, that's the new name, CGC Wheatland, will be our most sustainable plant ever. We are pouring our company's 120 years of innovation and experience in R&D into the Wheatland facility, making it ultra-sustainable, green, eco-friendly, all by design. So what does that mean? We're taking a four-pronged approach, a holistic approach to sustainability. And this is not, I want to say this, I'm going to editorialize here, this is not whitewash, this is real. We are not buying credits, we are sustainable. It starts with product design. The Wheatland plant will produce USG sheetrock brand EcoSmart panels for the Western Canadian market, the lightest and most sustainable wallboard product in the world will be produced right here in Wheatland County. We use less water and energy to make our product compared to standard wallboard, and we use 100% recycled paper. Second, we are implementing a series of equipment and product innovations at CGC Wheatland to further enhance sustainability. For example, this plant will take a zero-waste approach, meaning 100% of production waste will be recycled back into the manufacturing process. Nothing from this plant will go into a landfill. I should note that as part of our overall corporate sustainability goals at USG and CGC, we have committed to going zero waste by 2030. And our operations here at CGC Wheatland represents an enormous and important step forward towards that goal. Third, there will be alternate and renewable energy, and that is a key component to why we are here in Wheatland and in Calgary. And I think it's the most exciting from my opinion. We are building a $10 million on-site solar field that will power 100% of the Wheatlands plant's electricity needs, and that's another first in our industry in Canada. This solar field will be day one operational and will help make our Wheatland plant self-sufficient, cost-effective, and of course eco-friendly for generations to come. And then finally, localizing our operations here at CGC Wheatland will improve our environmental impact dramatically. Manufacturing in close proximity to our customers in Western Canada will reduce the distance, the time, cost, and of course the associated emissions with shipping. We've been doing that previously right across the country. Taken together, this holistic approach to sustainability at CGC Wheatland will result in a net CO2 reduction equivalent to removing 10,000 cars from Canada's roads. Yes. This represents an incredible transformation for CGC's environmental footprint, all while improving our customer experience and creating hundreds of good-paying jobs. And we are doing it all here in Alberta. I was asked several times, why Alberta? Why Wheatland? First and foremost, your values align with our values. Safety and family first. More so, we chose to bring CGC's new wallboard plant here because tapping into Alberta's amazing culture of innovation, entrepreneurism, and talent attraction will be incredibly valuable for our company, our employees, and our customers. This was a no-brainer, an opportunity we couldn't miss. An opportunity made clear by the passion and hard work of Premier Kenney, Minister Horner, Minister Schweitzer, and CEO Rick Christiaanse and his team at Invest Alberta. Thank you all for your partnership over these past 15 months, helping to make our vision today a reality. Thank you. And thank you for introducing us to so many wonderful Albertan communities as we sought out a best fit, a new hometown for our wallboard plant. I could be no more pleased that we're laying down new roots here in Wheatland County. In fact, not very far from where we are today. I think you can see it. Wheatland County and the many communities within it offer so much value to us at CGC. There's immediate and long-term economic benefits, plus a range of business growth opportunities. This is just the start. A rich talent pool, especially being located so close to Calgary, and smart, dedicated, collaborative leaders in government and business with whom we hope to continue working over the coming months, years, and in fact, decades, so that we can achieve our shared goals and values. Reeve Amber Link, CAO Brian Henderson, and Deputy CEO Matthew Boscaro have been instrumental in showing us the very best of Wheatland. Thank you for your hard work and guidance throughout this ongoing process. And I'll close by saying to all of you here today who call Wheatland County home, CGC has a proud history in Canada, and I could be no more happier that we are going to write our next chapter of that history to build our next legacy with you as partners here in Wheatland County. On behalf of everyone at CGC, many here today, you have my word. You have my word that we will be a great member and neighbor in your community. Thank you. So, with that, there will be plenty of information to come as we move through our planning process and we keep everyone up to date on the plant progress. Again, we hope to begin construction as soon as possible. So stay tuned, the best is still to come. For now, I'm elated to share the news with you and to keep working hard at making Wheatland a real reality, again after 25 years. This project has and continues to be a total team effort. A winning team effort between CGC, the Government of Alberta, Invest Alberta, and Wheatland County. And in that spirit, it is my great pleasure to introduce somebody who does not need an introduction here in Wheatland or to anybody in Alberta, Premier Jason Kenney, to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Chris. What a banner day for Alberta's booming economy. And what an amazing statement and vision. We can feel your excitement to see this career-long project being realized right here in the home of free enterprise in a province that is open for business unlike any jurisdiction in North America. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, first of all, to Chief Ore Crowfoot of the Siksika tribe of the Great Blackfoot Confederacy for welcoming us to traditional Blackfoot territory here. And we're just a stone's throw from the Siksika Reserve, and I hope that there will be many members of his nation who have an opportunity to benefit in this as you build and operate this historic facility. Thank you to Minister Horner, to MLA Joe Scow, who is captain of the legislature basketball team. Thank you to Reeve Link. I said earlier, I would really like to clone you in a whole bunch of other municipalities around Alberta. The kind of pro-investment, relentless visionary leadership that she has provided with the support of her council is what we need to see more of as partners in developing Alberta's remarkable economic turnaround. Thank you so much, Chris, for your confidence. I know that we've been working with CGC for nearly 18 months on today's announcement and next year's shovels in the ground. And I know this is, for folks who are not aware, Canadian Gypsum Company started in Nova Scotia, I believe over a century ago, and was eventually acquired by US Gypsum Company, which is now owned by a large German multinational company. These are serious business people. They do not make major investment decisions like this on a whim, or lightly, or by accident. They make very serious, considered decisions. And I know, Chris, that you and your team were looking very seriously at a number of other jurisdictions to site this factory, this new cutting-edge facility. And we've known that all along. When our government came to office 3 years ago, Alberta had been through 5 years of economic decline and stagnation. We had people leaving the province, unemployment that we had not seen in decades, and tens of billions of dollars of investment that had fled the province. And we knew it was, if we were going to have a future to realize the potential of this amazing place, we needed to bring investment back to Alberta. And we Albertans have always known that we need to put the pedal to the metal on diversifying our economy. We are proud of our largest sector. We are proud to be the third largest oil producers and the fifth largest natural gas producers in the world, but we know that we need to do more and we need to do better in every other sector of the economy. And that was our economic strategy as a government over 3 years ago. It was particularly the strategy we focused on at the bottom of the COVID trough in June of 2020, when our province was hit harder than any jurisdiction in North America because of the global COVID recession and the total collapse in energy prices that hit us hard just when we were starting to get back on our feet. And so we decided to double down through the Alberta Recovery Plan on diversification, But early on, one of the things we did was to give municipalities the ability to provide local property tax incentives for major new capital investment. And let me be blunt. I don't have anything to lose these days, so I can afford to be. Don't worry, Chris, I won't be Trump-style blunt. Don't worry about that. There were a lot, and Amber will recall this as she goes to the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association meetings, and there were a lot of her colleagues who criticized the idea that we would give municipalities the ability to provide attractive incentives to bring investment here. And I remember dozens of municipalities signing a letter saying this was an outrageous thing. It was a race to the bottom. I call more investment a race to the top. That's the Alberta approach. We aren't afraid of competition because we know most of the time we're going to win a competition. And so we liberated the municipalities to do this because we know that companies like this are looking at the property tax regime in multiple jurisdictions. We know to land the $18 billion of petrochemical investments that we have, we were competing with Texas and Louisiana, where companies can land with little or no property tax for a decade or two. We knew we needed to meet or beat them, and I think that was a key card that has allowed Reeve, Link and her team to attract this and other forthcoming investments. Of course, we cut our business tax rate by 1/3, while countries and jurisdictions across the world have been increasing business taxes. At the bottom of the COVID trough, we implemented the full job creation tax cut, which has given Alberta the lowest business taxes in Canada by a country mile, and lower, Chris, than all of the US states save 4, if you combine federal and state and federal provincial taxes. We created Invest Alberta because we knew to bring the investment here, we had to tell the Alberta story about the Alberta advantage. And I want to thank Rick and his team for putting our best foot forward in working with CGC and many other proponents and helping to solve problems. You know, when Chris's team or any other major company is coming to look at a major project like this, there are hundreds of issues that need to be addressed, resolved, certainty that needs to be found, incentives that need to be worked through. We gave Invest Alberta the Investment and Growth Fund to help provide some modest additional incentives, again, to meet or beat our competitors. And we provided $3.7 million to CGC's investment to secure this here today. And we saw that we're working so well that we expanded the fund specifically for rural economic development. Then we created a ministry for rural economic development because our urban economies are doing pretty well right now. We want to make sure that all parts of Alberta, all parts of rural Alberta are part of this amazing new story of diversification. Chris, you just made my day. I was going to say my week, but hosting the Pope here for an historic visit might rank just slightly above your visit, Chris. But when you said, and I quote, tapping into Albertans' culture of innovation, entrepreneurism, and talent attraction is incredibly valuable for our company, employees, and customers. It's an opportunity that we could not miss, unquote. Well, you know, for a Torontonian who lives in Chicago, you sure understand Alberta pretty good. Because I always say the greatest asset this province has is not our oil and gas, it's the entrepreneurial culture of our people, and Amber, you represent that in municipal government. Chris, I'm just so excited with your determination here, and you outlined the cutting-edge technology, the sustainability, the focus on environmental sustainability, particularly here. This tells so many different stories, not just about investor confidence in Alberta and Wheatland County, but about how we really are. I mean, yes, we're the 3rd largest oil producers in the world, but we're also one of the leading champions of green tech and innovation in the energy space, and this project is proof of that. So we are so excited to welcome you here to Alberta. I think once you get this plant up and running, you're going to see the amazing work ethic of your Alberta CGC Wheatland team. You're going to see their work ethic and their productivity. You're going to see the low taxes. You're going to see that Alberta is the least regulated province in Canada, that we've cut our regulatory burden by 1/3, 200,000 regs that we've eliminated in just 3 years. You're going to see why the CFIB, the Federation of Independent Business, says we are the lowest regulated province in Canada and the freest trading province in Canada. You're going to benefit from the youngest and best educated workforce in Canada with the highest incidence of STEM disciplines to do important things like building. You are going to see amazing partnerships with First Nations, who are a key part of our economic future in Alberta. And I think when you see all of that and more, maybe we'll talk to you about moving the headquarters of CGC to Alberta. So folks, thank you to the whole team, thank you so much. We are so excited to be here at this time after 18 months of tough work. Thank you again for believing in Alberta. Thank you for believing in Wheatland. And now I'll hand it over to Reeve.
Thank you, Premier Kenney, for sharing this message, and thank you for your work on helping to bring CGC to Wheatland County. I'm thrilled to be with you all today. As a lifelong resident and elected representative of Wheatland County, I'm excited to welcome CGC to Wheatland. Thank you for choosing us as the location for your wallboard production plant. I'm looking forward to working with CGC, stakeholders, our ratepayers, and businesses to create a development that will contribute to the sustainability of our entire region. The selected site is located within our Goldfinch industrial area, west of the hamlet here in Carsland, where we're having this wonderful event. This area has an approved area structure plan, or ASP, which is a statutory planning document that was created to cluster industrial development. Prior to approval of that ASP, Wheatland conducted significant public engagement, including open houses, a strategic visioning workshop, and a public hearing. CGC's proposed development aligns with the overall spirit of that ASP, and Team Wheatland will work with CGC to complete the required planning and development applications and processes, and those processes will include further public engagement. I know sustainability is a buzzword that we frequently hear, but there's no better term for what this development will contribute to our county and to this region. It will add to our economic and our community sustainability while maintaining ecological sustainability. Economic sustainability is at the forefront of Wheatland County Council's mind. We have been laser focused on cultivating a development landscape conducive to diversifying our rural economy and driving job creation through strategic growth. We've set up strong statutory development and planning policies. We have a strong and passionate and proud small, medium, and large business community that's already in Wheatland and has been here long term. We have a municipal council that cultivates an investment environment that is attractive, a council that's been committed to minimizing tax increases. We actually haven't increased our mill rate since 2018, though we have seen our assessment grow steadily. We have a council that's committed to creating strong relationships with our incredible local business and partnerships amongst our neighbours, other levels of government, and potential investors. In 2021, Council approved a municipal tax incentive bylaw, thanks to the legislation that Premier Kenney's government put in place, to attract large-scale investments and provide an opportunity for existing businesses to expand and receive the same businesses as new investors. We're proud to be one of the first municipalities in Alberta to implement a municipal property tax incentive. This is a vital part of positioning Wheatland County as the strongest investment destination for businesses in Alberta. WC is open for business, and we're serious about competing for large projects. As Premier referenced, agriculture and the oil and gas sector have been foundational to Wheatland County's economy, and we will always support those industries. However, it has become clear that in order to maintain our low taxes and to sustain the service levels that we provide, we needed to diversify. CGC's commitment to invest in our county is a significant step in diversifying our rural economy and ensuring sustainable economic growth. Another vital outcome of this development, which has already been referenced, but I'm going to reiterate it because it is so important, is job creation. We need employment opportunities that are well paid, have prospects for career advancement, and will capitalize on our long-standing, strong work ethic that built this county. We need these employment opportunities to retain our youth. I have 5 children, and I recognized how critical it is that we have real good employment opportunities for our youth to stay in rural Alberta. And CGC has demonstrated this. They have team members who are the third generation in families employed at their Hagersville, Ontario plant. And that's a demonstration of what a quality employer they are. CGC Wheatland will generate 200 jobs during the construction phase and 100 long-term positions once it opens. Gainful employment opportunities within Wheatland County provide stability for our local families and will attract new people to our region. Today's announcement also features environmental sustainability. CGC Wheatland will be USG's most sustainable plant ever. Not only will they produce eco-smart panels using less water and energy, but they're committed to zero waste and generating their own solar energy. This forward thinking is impressive and will serve as a model for other businesses to thrive economically while minimizing environmental impact. CGC's website states sustainability is building in harmony and goes on to explain that they are committed to products that are in sync with the environment and the communities in which they are designed, manufactured, distributed, and ultimately used. I would like to echo this sentiment by assuring you that Council is committed to implementing strategies to mitigate the impact of development on neighbouring properties. CGC's commitment to investment in our county is an example of what we can achieve when all levels of government work together to support the growing economic needs of our communities. We have worked for over a year alongside the Province of Alberta, Premier Kenney and his cabinet, and Invest Alberta to demonstrate to CGC that we are committed to providing the ideal home for their new manufacturing plant. The provincial legislative changes that allowed that tax incentive bylaw with the competitive tax climate that the provincial government has set and the provincial offerings, including workforce skill development programs, have resulted in this investment and other planned developments in Wheatland. By continuing to work together, we will ensure long-term sustainability of our economy, the environment, and ultimately our communities. Thank you. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome the Honourable Nate Horner, Alberta Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Rural Economic Development, to the podium. And I'm going to quickly go off script and just thank Minister Horner, because when you are working hard to demonstrate that you are the best place for these investments, there are issues at times that arise. And at one point in our journey towards today, we did have some significant issues that arose. Minister Horner was my first phone call. I think I basically begged you to help me, and he did everything in his power to do what needed to be done, and together we made this happen. So I'm overwhelmingly grateful, and I think maybe your first phone call was to Premier Kenney. And so I am overwhelmingly grateful for the support that we have seen from Cabinet and from our provincial colleagues. Good morning, Minister Horner.
Thank you, Reeve Link. That was very kind. I'll pay you later. But yeah, it's great to be here. Good morning, everybody. And I'm thrilled to be here with the Premier, with the Reeve, and on behalf of Minister Schweitzer. I know he's been involved in this process since the beginning and very much wishes that he could have been here as well. This is an exciting time to be in Alberta. And as the Premier said, we've been through a lot these past few years, but economically, the momentum is turning in our favor again. And our reputation as a business-friendly province is starting to spread across Canada and the world. And we're beginning to see new investment in the province month after month, especially in rural communities. Not only does it benefit the entire province when we land investments like the one made by the Canadian USG Corporation, but it supports and grows our rural communities. The relative contribution of rural Alberta is substantial. It produces 26% of the provincial GDP with just 18% of the population. Rural Alberta has unique economic opportunities, and it's a vital part of my mandate as Minister to ensure we support rural economic growth. In the past 3 months alone, we've announced more than $592 million in government-supported investments in rural Alberta, and we have more incredible opportunities in front of us. We're actively working on around 100 projects with the potential of facilitating an additional $5 billion in investment. Many of the companies that are prepared to invest are seeking a proactive signal of commitment and support from government. And Alberta's Investment and Growth Fund is one of the many tools we have to help close these deals. Recently, I had the pleasure of announcing that Alberta has attracted almost $1.5 billion in new agri-food investment and created about 3,000 jobs for Albertans. And today, we welcome another great company to rural Alberta. I'm pleased that Alberta's government could support the Canadian Gypsum Corporation and their plan to invest in Alberta. Not only will this plant create good-paying jobs for Albertans, but it's playing a significant role in reigniting Alberta's rural economy. This is more evidence that Alberta's recovery plan is working. Alberta's government will continue to support our province's economic growth and job creation by ensuring rural Alberta businesses and employers have access to the tools and resources they need to be successful. And while I may be biased as a farmer myself, you couldn't have picked a better place than rural Alberta. And before I pass the mic over, I just want to tell a quick story. Amber touched on it, and why this deal and this company is so important to me. As the Premier said, he created a rural economic development portfolio. And one of the first calls I got in that job was from Minister Schweitzer. And he said, you know, I think you better meet with these guys. And Chris Macy, looking at you, that was the first meeting I took in that role. And at that point, you know, could tell that they definitely wanted to be in Alberta, but it wasn't for sure, and was between a few different locations. And I'm not surprised that Reeve Link was more than convincing to convince you that this is the place to be. But that story that you told, Reeve Link, about reaching out when we hit those problems or those bumps, there's no magic wand to economic development. It's about cooperation, communication, collaboration. And she said, yeah, we're hitting a few bumps here. We could really use some help. We were in the middle of a caucus meeting. We were in a little break. I took the call and came back in, and the timing was pretty great. I doubt you remember Premier, but it led into Premier. He was kind of giving his speech to us all about economic development, and he said, look, if anybody's having problems, I want to know about it, because you know the best part of a bad job is me selling this province, and if there's ways that I can help, you know, I want to do it. And so the timing was great. I raised my hand and I said, hey, I think you're going to Germany. And he had no idea what I was talking about, but the next thing, his chief of staff came over and we got them in touch with Amber, and that's how fast. So in about 6 minutes, Amber had the ear of the Premier. And I think that speaks a lot to how Alberta's working right now. We're working together, from municipal government to the province, with Invest Alberta. And so I hope that's more of what you'll see in the years to come. So now I would like to ask Cliff Francis, the President and CEO of SPAR, to come up and give some remarks. So thank you.
Thank you, Minister Horner. Good morning, everybody. Hey, you know what? As I look around this room, I see a lot of smiling faces, and I think everybody is as excited as Amber is over there. I know I am. For those of you that aren't from Alberta, I just want to take a moment and say, welcome to sunny Alberta. This is a place of dreams. I know that because that's where I come from. So my name is Cliff Francis, and I'm President and CEO of SPAR. SPAR is Western Canada's industry-leading envelope construction provider that delivers solution-focused results and simplified building processes for residential, multifamily, and commercial partners. SPAR has been uniquely in business for over 40 years, providing the best in-class construction services throughout Western Canada. An important factor in our success over these 40 years has been the use of high-quality building materials in all of our products, including CGC wallboard and other CGC products. As you've heard this morning, until now, business like mine in Western Canada have relied on shipment of CGC wallboard from facilities out east. Now, you know, it's been worth it because CGC is a very, very high-quality product. But I can tell you, as a father and a grandfather, that I want to pass on a legacy to my grandkids that says we were responsible about the environment. This initiative shows everyone in this room how committed CGC and Chris is to this exact thing. Can you imagine from a business owner's perspective that we get drywall shipped to us now currently from Nova Scotia? This is game changer. So in today's world with uncertain supply chains and transportation, relying on cross-country shipping for one of the most critical building materials is a make or break factor for all of us in business today and our builds, quite frankly. And to emulate what Chris said, it ain't worth it. We got to change this, and we're on the road to doing that. So a heartfelt thank you to CGC for that. So I welcome the news. Thank you. I welcome the news that CGC will build a large, state-of-the-art wallboard facility in Wheatland County, right close to home. This is awesome. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am. This will provide my team at SPAR and other businesses like mine with a certainty of supply chain that we haven't had for 6 years. I don't know if you guys understand that, but as business owners, 6 years. This is amazing news. It'll help us work faster. It'll help us work more efficiently with the sales team at CGC. It will help us complete our builds on time and on budget with the highest possible quality of materials available. Again, thank you, gentlemen. And thanks to the sustainable initiatives you've heard about this morning, it will help us build more eco-friendly as well. And again, I can't reiterate my position strongly enough. I want to have that legacy with my grandchildren, that I'm part of an eco-responsible company such as this. I can tell you from personal experience that the team at CGC are passionate and they work well with their customers and best at what they do. It's huge news for our industry, and I appreciate the hard work of all the CGC team, Griffin, Steve Youngblood, Steve Stremecki, real dear friend of mine, and many others to make this plant a reality for Alberta and the West. I know they're going to be great employers. I've worked with these fellows for years. I know what they bring. The family values that they bring here, you're going to appreciate this Wheatland County for sure. They're going to be great neighbors, and community members like none you've ever experienced before. I'm excited to see what the future holds for SPAR, CGC, and Wheatland County. The sky is the limit. And one more last note, I would really like to personally thank the Knopf family. You know, the Knopf family, they could have invested their money anywhere, right to the Premier's point. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They chose us. They actually chose us, Alberta, to be a part of their synergy and their economy. And I will always be grateful for that. Thank you so much for having me here today. Appreciate y'all.
So, again, it's only been 25 years in the making. Amber, will you help me show the audience what this is going to look like? Can I just so I make a couple of comments, you might wonder what the raceway looks like. That is going to be, that's rail, so we can bring 100-unit rail shipments in for our raw materials. And then in the center of that, which isn't on this picture, is where we'll have our solar field. So almost that entire area will be covered with solar. And that's why one of the reasons that we chose Wheatland, just the size of the footprint that we need. And if you'll notice, there's lots of area where we can expand in the future. That was important to us. So thank you. I think we want to take a couple photographs.
Yeah, and we're going to sign up the rest of it.
Okay, come on up. you. Thank you. Yeah. So thank you for hanging in with us. We're going to have a bit of a moment of transition, and then I'm going to be turning it over to Rick from Invest Alberta, who's going to lead what we think is going to be an interesting panel discussion. So just give us 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you. I need Donna. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. If you wouldn't mind grabbing your seats, we'll continue on with the program. It is our intent to get you out on time, so if you can help us with that, that would be great. Donna ran away from me.
What's that? She
Donna
left?
ran away from me.
What? No.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rick Christiaanse, and I have the privilege of leading the team at Invest Alberta. And it's our pleasure to be here today and celebrate this really important announcement for rural Alberta. We're really excited because we've been working for a long time with Chris and the team at CGG, Premier Kenney, Ministers Horner and Schweitzer, and of course, Reeve and the team here locally to bring this investment forward and to develop these plans. And it has been a journey, and it has been a real Team Alberta approach to get this working, and so we're really happy to share this news with you today. This is another example of how we can bring high-value, high-impact investments from around the world to Alberta and diversify and grow our economy while still building on our traditional foundations of agriculture and oil and gas. So we want it all, and we're actually succeeding in doing that all, and that's really due to the hard work that's done by each and every one. Now that you've all heard about the investment and plant facility, it's my great pleasure to lead a short panel discussion to tell you a little bit more about and inform you a little bit more about the impact this will have on Wheatland County
and how we brought this together and what some of CGC's plans are. And so I want to introduce you to my three panelists this morning. Steve Youngblood is the General Manager for CGC. Donna Biggar, who most of you know, is of course the Division 3 Councillor here in Wheatland County. And Minister Horner is the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Rural Economic Development. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to start with Steve and talk a little bit about this big news today, because this is a huge announcement. You know, when I started meeting originally with the CGC team, for something that had been in the works for 27 years, it's pretty amazing, pretty exciting to bring this forward. Why, despite all that's currently going on in the world with craziness and a lot of diversity, why is this the right time for CGC to move into Western Canada and in such a big way?
Thanks, Rick. I don't know if everyone hear me. I've worked for CGC now for 22 years, and for my entire career, we've wanted to build a plant in Western Canada. So you can imagine how exciting of a day this is for me, for my colleagues at CGC, and our customers in Western Canada. This plant will actually help us overcome our supply chain challenges. It's been mentioned a few times today that to paint a picture of our wallboard business. The majority of our wallboard in Western Canada today is manufactured just outside of Toronto, about an hour west in Hagersville. We rail that product from there 2 to 3 weeks into the Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC marketplaces. As you can imagine, our products are large, they're bulky, they're hard to handle, and we are completely dependent on rail. From a local perspective, if we're servicing a large job in Toronto or in Ontario, we can quickly pivot, produce specialty products in 24 hours to 48 hours, get those to our customers in a timely fashion. We would do that same notion for our customers in Western Canada, except for, again, we're dependent on rail for 2 to 3 weeks. So this plant that we are building in Wheatland will not only produce the most innovative products, the most sustainable products, but it will help us with the supply chain challenges and better serve our customers across Western Canada.
Great, thank you. And when I heard the story of this product being shipped all across the country and trying to figure out how our building industry here in Western Canada supports that, and talking this morning a little bit, it's just really exciting news, because this is going to help us grow even faster and go from there.
Absolutely.
Minister Horner, rural economic development, a key area of your portfolio. How does this plant, like the CGC one, fit into your vision of moving forward in Alberta?
Well, I think it's kind of a flagship story, and it's very unique. I guess a lot of what we do in our ministry and our role is we're trying to work with municipalities and play to our strengths. Of course, part of that is the tools in the toolbox. We're always looking at are we competitive and what more can we do. But it's about getting more for our products, providing more jobs locally instead of just putting everything we produce on the train and shipping it to the coast. Where this is unique, we're talking about railing a product in from the U.S. and manufacturing it here and really becoming the Western Canadian hub. And I think it speaks to, all the enthusiasm and momentum in all sectors. We're leading the country in interprovincial migration, lowest unemployment rate. We're leading in all categories, and it's going to mean more building. So I think CGC's picked the right location. It's not something you can recreate all over the province, but I think you have to relish the wins like this when you get them, when they're such a natural fit.
Absolutely, and you were talking about tools in the toolbox a second ago, and one of those is the IGF, or Industrial Growth Fund. Why was this project such a natural fit for that particular fund?
I think the high level of quality jobs it creates, and for a long time, where it's situated in Wheatland County. I know Premier and former Finance Minister helped us in the latest budget to add another 50% to the Investment and Growth Fund and target it specifically for rural Alberta. So we wanted to make sure that we had those tools when those opportunities arose. And frankly, we don't have the highest level of incentives out there, but we are relying on the broad value proposition of Alberta. I'm staring at Chris. I know he wanted to be in Alberta. But we do have to play the game a little. But we have logistical advantages, we have labor advantages, and you've all been to Saskatchewan. So.
Oh wow! Okay, that was not. That was not in the script, so we'll just move on. Yeah, we'll go from there. Councillor Biggar, Wheatland County has done a lot to promote economic development, and we were joking earlier about the ability to clone the leadership team here and take it across the province, because Wheatland is really leading the way, and it's been a privilege for us to work with the group. And today is obviously an outcome of that huge effort that your team has put in. CGC plans to create 100 long-term high-value jobs here. What will that mean for Wheatland County?
I will answer that question, but I just know from my karaoke days, I don't often get the mic more than once.
Right.
So
I promise you 2 tries.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to have you look around. You are in a brand new 8,000 square foot fire hall that was partly here because of the province. The province gave $1,044,622 in stimulation grant to this project, and I just wanted to thank the Premier and the ministers here and all the representatives for making this happen. Our community will be grateful for a very long time. Back to the question. These last few years have been very difficult in our region, and Wheatland County focused very heavily on trying to create initiatives that would actually bring in development like CGC. These jobs will not only help our area now, but they will help it grow. It will also help our grown children. It'll help our grown children stay in the area so that they can raise their children in this beautiful community too. Team Wheatland is very excited to be working with CGC team and to make all this process happen. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And my follow-up question, because I promised you another chance at the mic. So we heard this morning that we heard this morning that the CGC plant will be the most sustainable ever, with a $10 million on-site solar field and numerous other green initiatives. Why is that beneficial to the Wheatland community?
Across Alberta and in Wheatland County, solar and wind investment is very prominent. I think that companies that are willing to invest in their own energy sources should not be overlooked, and they should be celebrated. Sustainability in business is a win-win. Wheatland County Council and staff have been heavily invested in creating initiatives that would help here, and we are actually have this economic development portfolio to help kind of pivot and modernize the renewables, example, hydrogen. So I think the county actually is very excited about companies that will that invest in creative energy. Yeah.
And it's really interesting. We get a chance to work with people all over the world, and sustainability
Yes.
and the solar and wind energy you were talking about a minute ago is a huge item of discussion, whether we're in Korea or in Singapore or in Germany. It's becoming more and more relevant and more important. And this is well, look outside today, right? This is a great day to promote those things. Talk about sustainability a little bit more, Steve, and to close out our discussion, from CGC's perspective, why is this such a high priority for the Wheatland plant and company-wide?
Yeah, perfect. Sustainability should be a priority for every corporation, in my opinion, and it certainly is, as Chris has alluded to earlier, for USG and CGC. And more importantly, it's just the right thing to do. In fact, USG, we have an 8-year plan, a very aggressive plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to reduce our water use and reduce waste. Again, what's really excited about the Wheatland County CGC wallboard plant is it will be the most sustainable plant in our entire network. That's exciting. And I know it's been said many times, but one of the unique factors and a first in wallboard manufacture is our 90-acre solar farm that will provide all clean energy for the wallboard plant manufacturing facility. And last but not least, we talk a lot about sustainability for our environment and our communities, but a more sustainable product like EcoSmart wallboard panels, that's important for our customers too.
Absolutely, and thank you for that. And it's one of the things that is really exciting about this announcement, right? That you're advancing the technology in what is a traditional building industry product. So that's fantastic to see, and we're really excited about that. I want to thank all three of you for joining us, and it's been a real pleasure not only talking to you about what this plant will mean to the local community and to Alberta as a whole, but at the same time to thank all of you for the work. This has been a true Team Alberta effort. There's been numerous phone calls late at night about challenges and opportunities, and this team has really come together to make those work. So I want to extend our thanks to the CGC team. Chris and the team have done a fantastic job. Premier Kenney and the various ministries that have been involved, huge part of what is happening here today. And of course, Reeve and her team for all the hard work that has been done at this local level to make this happen. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Reeve and Chris Griffin for some closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you all once again for coming this morning. A special thank you goes to the moderators, panelists, speakers, and participants for your contributions to this momentous event. I also want to express appreciation for all those working behind the scenes, including the caterers from An Affair to Remember, and to the Carsland Fire Department for providing us with this fantastic venue. Let's give them a round of applause. A heartfelt thank you to my colleagues on Wheatland County Council and in the region, and to every member of Team Wheatland. This would not have happened without every single person who worked to bring this here. It's an exciting time to be serving alongside each of you. Finally, I'd like to thank the CGC team. Your commitment to innovation, sustainability, combined with your entrepreneurial spirit, aligns perfectly with our commitment to innovative, sustainable municipal service delivery. CGC and Wheatland's alignment contributes to a community where current residents, as well as future employees and their families, can experience the unparalleled quality of life that Wheatland County offers. On behalf of Team Wheatland, I am excited to work with CGC, stakeholders, our ratepayers, and businesses to create a development that benefits everyone. Welcome to Wheatland.
Thank you. Really, thank you. Everybody has somewhere else they could be today, and you chose to spend your morning with us. And we could not be more pleased than you chose to do that here in Wheatland. Great conversation. Rick and the team, thank you very much. Thank you for everybody on the panel for your time and insights. I also want to thank the fire chief for opening up, and we really did come in and take over. But it's turned out to be a great venue. And, you know, I often say that to our team, you know, we are not Chicago, rural North America. Most of our plants, this is where we work, and this is where we live, and this is where we play. And Wheatland is now the newest member of our family. So thank you to everybody. We cannot wait to start building and growing connections with you, discovering new opportunities so that we can collaborate. And again, I cannot emphasize, this is the beginning. And I can't wait to see you all in a few months when we break ground, but more importantly, when we ship that first load of CGC EcoSmart wallboard out of this facility. You can have it, Larry. You know what? And I will say that because I'm out of scripted remarks. We have 100 customers from all over Canada. A lot who've chosen to fly here at their own expense to come and party with us tonight and celebrate that we are in Alberta. That's how excited our customers are that we are here. Right? Right? So, the cameras are off. Tonight's will be less scripted. But the emotions will be the same. And so thank you. We look forward. And I've said this to Reeve Link, and I will say this to the community leaders here. If you have a 4-H club, if you have anywhere where you want us to come and talk about wallboard and about what we're going to do and the opportunities we're going to provide, our team is available anytime to come and participate. We want to be a good neighbor and a good member of your community, right? And that starts today. And so just please do not hesitate to reach out and find us. Come and say hello, give us a card. We are here, starting today. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Tomato seeds, you and Nancy find them in your garden. I'll be growing nice red. My God.